Gang, 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 gang.
Bloop,
We in
bloop,
the
bloop, bloop,
building.
bloop.
We in the building. It's the For Infinity podcast. This is episode 5. My name is Bryan, aka Walking Saint, and I am joined by
Sadria, aka Sushi for dinner.
Sushi for Dinner. Y'all know what time it is. It's lit.
It is.
It's very, very lit.
We are on fire.
And we have an announcement.
An exciting announcement.
Facts. So this month, Sadria and I have a special giveaway for our listeners to partake in. As many of you know, this podcast is based out of New York City. So we're partnering up with a home baker from the Bronx who on social media goes by the name of Cravings by Cant. And Cant is sponsoring this month's giveaway. So
Shout out to Cant.
So Cant is giving our listeners an opportunity to win a delicious small baked cake. The cake will feed like about 4 people, but will be customizable with a variety of options to fulfill your wants and needs.
No, seriously, guys. You should really check her out. Her work is really good, and we're not just saying it. We have had her bake us a cake. So we got to choose the filling, the icing, literally everything. She customized the cake for us. We wanted it to look a certain way. We needed it to say a certain something. She gave us just excellent, excellent, excellent. So you guys should really check her out, especially for any events, baby shower, parties that you're having. Yeah. It was really good. And she also bakes other stuff as well. She doesn't just make cakes. What else have we tried from her? I think we've had chocolate chip cookies that were really amazing.
Absolutely.
And Bryan is obsessed with her banana pudding.
Oof.
I mean,
OD.
obsessed.
A1.
He plays me all the time.
That's really my shit, no lie.
It's okay though. I'm not mad. He plays me though. But it's
Don't worry. You gonna get there. You gonna get there.
One day. Maybe I'll ask her for lessons.
Oh, man.
Oh, that could be a really good idea.
If she could teach you how to whip up that banana pudding,
it would be over. You would love me more?
Damn, I'm like damned if I do, damned if I don't. If I say yes, I'm an asshole.
Yup.
But if I say no, I'm lying.
Oh.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Nah, but all jokes aside, thank you, Cap. Really appreciate y'all. So let's go ahead and kick the episode off. Y'all know what it is. You guys know what to expect from us at this point.
Let's start it.
So I'll go ahead and introduce the topic for you guys. So first things we're going to talk about is how heavily should you rely on friends when it comes to your relationship, particularly like with their advice. You know what I mean? What do you think about that?
I personally feel conflicted because you know, let's take, for example, it depends what friend.
Hold up.
Okay.
You know, like you
Elaborate.
have good friends, then you have close friends, then you have best friends.
Okay.
When your best friend tells you something, it's like, how can you deny them by not taking the advice that they're giving you? So it's kind of like in the beginning, you have to give. It's kind of like you have to lend your ear. Like they're going to tell you what they think is the best advice on your relationship. And it really depends whether you want to adhere to it fully or if you want to take what they're saying with a grain of salt.
Okay.
So when it comes to my best friends, I would like to think that I would give them the benefit of the doubt with the advice that they're giving me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And as it trails down to close friends and whatever the first category I said was, then it becomes, you know, like, I don't
Let me
know
ask
if
you
I
a
need
question.
to.
So, like, how early are you taking in advice on a relationship? Like, are you, as soon as you get, as soon as you start talking to somebody and you eventually get into a relationship, do you think it's best to automatically start to adhere to someone's advice, in your opinion?
I feel like my best friend has my best interests at heart. So if she's telling me something from the jump, I feel like I should be taking that advice
Got it. So from the start, you listening to whatever your best friend has to say.
from the start. But, I also have to agree with the advice because I feel like sometimes people don't agree that much with the advice, but that they get convinced. And so then you kind of, I guess, are swayed into taking this advice that you didn't think was good in the first place. But because
Mhm.
that's your best friend, you want to make sure that you're, I guess, giving it your all. kind of.
That's facts. I get it. You know, especially if they're your closest friend. Obviously, you're gonna listen to what they have to say. And I understand the way you like put it in ranks, you know what I mean? Like some
Yeah.
people might not be my best friend. Some other people might be like a close friend, an acquaintance. So with someone who you're cool with, but not on that type of
Level.
level,
Yeah.
you might take whatever they have to say about your relationship or whatever they have to say, period, with a grain of salt.
Believe that.
Me personally, though, like my personal opinion is if the question is, should you rely on friends in a relationship? I don't think I necessarily need to rely on friends in a relationship. Now, do I need to rely on friends just for other reasons? Yeah. You know what I mean? For like personal reasons. Because again, you have a friendship, it's a relationship with that friend. So you have to rely on things for that friendship apart from your relationship. Um, so I wouldn't necessarily rely on a friend's advice too heavily. Like I've definitely been in a situation where I was being told to do A and I just did B anyway. Like all my friends at the time were telling me to do A, pick option A. And I was just like, nope, I'm going with option B. You know what I mean? Just because ultimately, when it comes to love and relationships and things of that sort, I typically try to follow my heart as best as possible. That's just kind of how I operate, though. You know what I mean? But I mean, I agree. I agree with what you say. I don't knock people who look to their friends for advice and for help with certain things. I totally get it. And of course, not everyone is the same. Like I don't expect everyone to be like me.
Right. Because that's kind of like what we're doing now with our
Yeah.
podcast. It's like we're giving people advice because we've been together so long. So, for example, just to like bring it together for you, if my best friend has been in a long term relationship, I feel like there are things that she could give me advice on that would be beneficial for my relationship. So, why not have her, like, why not listen to what she has to say? Because she might really be able to help me.
Nah, you're right. I mean, it's definitely okay to listen to people's advice. And we all do it. Whether we ask directly for a person's advice or not, it kind of just happens. Sometimes you'll be talking to somebody, they'll ask you how,
So and so is
doing.
you could be venting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Honestly, sometimes it's not always just about the advice. I think you can rely on your friends for an ear. Like a lot of times, you might be going through something and you don't necessarily care for what they have to say. You just want to vent and just get your thoughts out there, and you just care about them hearing you out and listening to you. You know what
Right.
I'm
So
saying?
like a shoulder to cry on, as they say.
Exactly. So those are other ways that you can rely on a
Your
friend
friend's
that
advice.
doesn't necessarily have to do with advice.
Right.
Just having them there. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So overall, it's good to rely on friends. You kind of have like a tier list, I guess you could call it, of people that you have in your life. You might not necessarily take everything that each person has to say into an account, but when it comes to your bestest friends,
That top tier.
that top tier
That
individual,
top.
like you know that they have your best interests in heart at all times. You know
Absolutely.
that they know you best. So if they spot something fishy, or if they want you to be aware of this, that, and the third, you know, you're gonna definitely take that into account. Whereas someone else, you might take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Like you might not be looking to them for that type of advice.
And because that top tier is so, I guess, limited or small, I feel like I'm not getting mixed advice.
Yeah,
It's really solid advice from a very, very small circle, pool,
absolutely.
whatever you want to use.
Fuck what I said. Like,
Ow.
as far as the way I am, that doesn't change. I typically do like to keep everything as private as possible. You know what I mean? And I typically don't like to speak about things I have going on or how I feel and shit. That's just how I am. I'm like guarded like that. But
Hmm.
I can't see myself relying on somebody, because at the end of the day, you never know what you're going to be going through at what point.
And you
Whether-
might need that really important best friend to,
Exactly.
pick you up.
So yeah, rely on your friends, people. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, get help wherever you can get help. If you need any advice on anything, you should be able to call somebody and them help you out.
Remember that tier, though.
Absolutely.
That tier is
Facts.
important. You're not taking advice from everybody, guys,
Believe that.
okay?
That's a fact.
Everyone doesn't have your best interests like your bestest friend does.
So true. So true.
100.
And then speaking of, friends and them looking out for you, what do you feel of like relying on friends for like checking up on your partner and making sure that they supposed to be doing what they doing? Like, for example, if your partner's going to a party, right?
Hmm.
And that person has a friend that's going to the party too, and things like that. Like, are you for that? Are you on board with that? Just having like extra eyes on somebody and shit like that.
I am fully on board with that. But with regards to the example that you gave, I feel like I'm only on board with that if it just so happens that you guys are going to be at the same place at the same time. Like, I'm not looking for a spy. It's just like, oh, you're going there? Well, my man's going to be there too. You might as well, let me know what happens. But it's kind of, that goes back to like the whole trust in a relationship. It's like, do I trust you to be going out? Yes. If I don't, then that would be an issue. And then I could see how having your friend going on purpose would be like a spy move. I need you to be watching his every move. I don't trust him, or you know what I
Facts.
mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
As opposed to, oh, so-and-so's going here. Oh, my boyfriend's going there too. Say hello to him while you're there.
Yeah, like, definitely I'm not that guy to just send people out to go spy on you and shit like that. Like, I'm not that. However, if you're somewhere and my boys just happen to be there, or a boy, one of my guys just happens to be there, like, I totally expect them to let me know what the situation is, you know what I'm saying, and have my back. Not to be clocking you and, all eyes on you on some like Tupac shit. But if they see something funny, I definitely expect them to let me know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I expect the same.
Absolutely.
I should be told, like, if you saw something, I don't want you to just keep it to yourself, because I feel like there are two different things that happen, which is obvious, but I'm going to say them anyways. A, your friend could have seen something, and because they're afraid to tell you, and they're afraid that you might, for some reason, kind of, I guess, not believe them. I have heard stories that has happened. So I feel like that could happen since I've heard these types of stories. So it's more so like they don't tell you because they were afraid that you wouldn't believe them in the first place. And then there's B, which is they go ahead and they tell you right away. Like, I'm looking for someone to tell me what they saw.
Believe that.
I'm expecting that you're not lying to me. So when you tell me, I feel like you're are telling me the truth.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's not a big pool of that, but there are some people that, I feel like they don't trust what their other friend would tell them that they saw, which is crazy to me because it's then like,
That's kind of weird because if we tie it back to what we were just talking about regarding the BFF thing, like you would expect that if this is your best friend telling you this, like why the fuck would you just not believe them?
right.
But then at the same time, when you confront your partner and they're like, no, that's not true, this, that, and the third, but then they never lied to you,
It could become really dicey.
it becomes dicey.
Dicey.
Facts. So
You know what? That would be a big predicament. It's like, this is my bestest friend. And this is my man.
yeah, that's the type of shit that'll break up either the relationship or the friendship.
Right.
Facts.
Woo.
Damn.
I would hate to be in that type of predicament. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's OD. I'm not gonna lie. But
that ties it back to, I expect that you're telling me the truth. Like, I don't expect for you to be lying to me about what you see when you're
Yeah.
out there.
I mean, honestly, like my best friend, like I'm lucky that you and him have a great relationship as well. So, even if you guys are in the same place, I know him, and for the most part, he's the type to just approach you, say what's good, and like if you at a bar drinking, having fun, like he's gonna have fun with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like, he'd join in on whatever it is that I'm doing with whoever I'm with.
Exactly.
Unless he felt like it was a really private moment and maybe I was consoling my other friends, so he would kind of like distance himself.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I feel like he'd integrate himself into whatever we were doing.
Because I feel like with certain relationships, you might not be as cool with your partner's friends. So you might see them when you're out and about and you'll like try to hide from them, not try to make yourself known. You know what I'm saying? Just because you guys aren't really cool like that. And that's where kind of the spying
comes into play.
Yeah, like it feels like, oh shit, I'm spying on this person. Even though you're probably not even trying to. It's just, hey, I'm not really cool with them like that. But that's why I like for you to be cool with my friends.
Yeah.
Just because, they're an extension of me. So if I'm not there, you know that if they're with you, they're going to hold you down. Like, you're going to feel safe. You're going to feel protected. They're going to look out. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to let nothing bad happen to you. And then also now you're not going to do nothing stupid either to jeopardize the relationship because obviously they're there. So they're going to check you on it.
Yeah.
So
I hope, guys, that you weren't doing anything stupid in the first place without their friends being there.
facts. Definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we both agree, right? Like, don't purposely be like, hey, go to the bar and spy on them.
Spy on that person.
Yeah, like don't do that for no reason.
Right.
It's different like if you're mad suspicious and
If
shit's
you
been
feel like
going
something
down
is
for a
going
minute.
on, yeah.
Yeah, but if
it is a regular
on a random
Tuesday night.
Tuesday evening, he's like, yo, I'm going here with the guys, like, I'll talk to you tomorrow, whatever. And you're just hitting up your girlfriends like, where you at right now? You in Queens? You in Queens? Pull up on him. Pull up on him right now.
He is wearing a white t-shirt with some Nike sweats and a dad hat.
Locked up, they won't let me out.
Like, come on, don't do that.
Put out an alert. If your friends are there, make sure that they're clocking him. Make sure that your friends' friends are clocking him. I want to have eyes on him.
I'm legally blind.
I mean, yeah, like, don't do that. Don't do that, people. Don't do that.
You know what all of this has me thinking in my head, though?
What's up?
We have to leave room for error. And what I mean by that is that if your friend does tell you that they saw something, you always want to make sure, either as the friend or the partner, that that person didn't see something that wasn't really going down. I know that doesn't make sense. Let me explain. So kind of like it's not miscommunication, but it's like misinterpretation. Like you saw something
I'll give you an example right now.
and you think it's something crazy, but it's not.
I'll give you an example right now. I remember I was out with my guy one day, and I forgot where we was at. I think we was like at a bar. It definitely wasn't a club. I don't think it was a club. I think it was a bar. And like my guy's there recording. Woo, we in the spot. We in the mix. You know, music's playing. There's women around us, whatever. And from the angle that he was recording, it looked like I was dancing on a shorty, and it looked like he was there hyping me up, and then he put it on Instagram. So
Yes.
your girl was like, "Yo, look at what the fuck Bryan doing." Like she trying to look out for you and shit. But in reality, I wasn't even doing nothing, and you ended up getting upset at me and my boy. Cause you're like, yo, you supposed to be his closest friend, and you mad cool with me. So I thought,
How are you doing this to
like,
me?
how you gonna do that to me? Like, first of all, I knew you before Bryan, so that's fucked up.
Yep.
And you always appear to be A1. Like,
You're always repping me like, don't worry. You know, when they go out and stuff, he's always like, I got it. Don't worry. I'll make sure he gets home if he gets drunk or whatever it is.
yeah, like
he always has my back.
The same way that you be pumping that, oh, Bryan is your mans, you be saying the same shit with me. So what's up? What happened there? But
You
it was
fumbled the ball.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
Guys, I was so livid.
She was tight, but in reality, what happened was, because then the thing is like, all right, if Bryan is dancing with somebody, cool, whatever. But why you gonna upload it to Instagram so that I can
so
see
that
it?
I can be physically like looking at it and I can replay and replay and replay.
Facts, like,
Oh,
But-
it was so upsetting, guys.
it was a misunderstanding. It just looked like I was, and I know that sounds like a bum ass, like, oh yeah, the it ain't really what you see excuse, but nah, it really was not even that. Like, it truly was not even that. And like you said, it was a misunderstanding. And your friend was trying to look out, which I understood. Like, you know, I got it.
Well, I mean, I peeped it first, really.
Yeah.
And then I showed it to her and I was like, look at this. Look at this. What's happening? Just to make
So she
you-
was there to put a battery in your back.
right. You know, like
yeah,
just
fuck that.
no, I mean, it wasn't, you know, Bryan always has to take it out of
Believe it.
context. No, what it was I said, I just want you to look at this so that I'm not bugging. Like, you tell me if I'm crazy.
Slide on me now.
I'm like, does this look like this, or am I taking it
Yeah.
out of proportion?
Like, does this look right, or is all the
right.
way left?
And
I'm
so
bugging?
all she said was, it kind of
It looked
looks
fishy.
bad. And I was like, cool, thank you for that. And then I went and I was like,
and that leads me into like the conversation of, what about when that friend that's giving you the advice, when you know that they don't like your partner, you know what I'm saying? Because we spoke about in the beginning of the podcast that it's okay to receive advice from really close friends. You know, these are people that you trust, but you know, it's inevitable, right? Like, not everyone is gonna like everyone that you
right.
know.
Different personalities.
Absolutely. Like,
Not
your
everyone
friend
is going to
cannot
match.
like your other friend, or, you know, in this case, your friend cannot like your boyfriend. Like, who knows, right?
Yeah, we
So,
don't know.
What happens in that situation where
Woo.
you have a BFF and you know that they don't really fuck with your partner?
Wow. I honestly think this is a super hard question because you want, you know, as anyone would, you want your best friend, your closest knit people to like the person that you're with, because the whole reason you're with this person is because you see a future with them.
100.
100.
So you know that this could go on for a very long time. So it's like you want their approval of this guy or this woman.
Absolutely.
So when they don't like that person, I feel like it's a crushing feeling.
It
Like,
sucks.
It's like, wow, what?
Yeah.
You don't like them?
Yeah.
Why?
Or it could be vice versa. It could be the partner not really liking the friend.
And then it's like, why? Why is you doing this to me?
Why can't we be friends?
Ow.
Why can't we be friends?
Yeah.
Basically,
Like that's how you feel.
no, really, that is how
like,
I
you
feel.
want
I'm like,
everyone
wow,
to get along
seriously?
it's like, yo, you mean a lot to me in my life. This person means a lot to me in my life. Obviously, y'all gonna be around. So what's up? Like, I'm trying to go on vacation.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to do shit.
Let's do this double, triple date thing where we all go on vacation together. Oh wait, no, there's beef. I don't really like him, so I don't really want to go.
What is your advice, Sushi for Dinner, for people that have those situations where either the friend doesn't really like the partner or the partner doesn't really like the friend? Like,
wow, that's
going
so
on there?
tough. I honestly feel like that's like one of like the hardest questions that I might be asked because
my
that's
advice,
so difficult.
My advice
Yes,
would
tell me what your advice is, because maybe I can, if I feel like it's right, I can piggyback off it. Because right now, I'm like having my own anxiety attack within my body.
Yeah. Here's a gem, people.
Okay, drop a gem for us.
Look,
go ahead.
My advice, the first thing that needs to happen is everyone needs to be upfront about how they feel about such and such person. You know what I'm saying? So if you are in a relationship and you truly do not like your partner's friends, you need to be upfront about it and say it. You know, you got to let that person know and be upfront about why, you know, what is it? They strike you the wrong way, or maybe they did something that you don't like whatever it is, right? And the reason that is important that you talk and let that person know how you feel, because in the future, if, for example, if I don't know how you feel about my man, right, and I continue to put y'all in the same
mingle us
room,
all the time?
Exactly. Like, now he's just going to continue to rub you the wrong way.
Right.
Especially if I continue to put you in an environment where you can't really get to know them. Like, if you only ever meet, you know, my boy whenever it's like my birthday, and that's where you're in a spot with him as well, and all you see is like the party side of him and I, of course, you're probably not going to like certain things. But if I were to know that you didn't like them, now I could at least make an effort to be like, you know what? How about we do a double date?
Right. Let's put us in a position or a situation where it is more comfortable for us to get to know each other.
Exactly. Now you get to actually have a conversation. It's not just the small chatter that usually goes down in a party environment. Now you get to have a conversation, find out what he's really like.
Yeah, quality
and not just kind of take my word for it. Don't get me wrong. There's situations where even then you still not going to like the person. But I think that's the best case scenario, is that you figure out why they don't like a certain individual, and then you try to put them in a situation where maybe they can get along with each other or like know more about each other.
Right.
Without you necessarily judging them for 2 seconds because you met them at a party or because it was in high and by and the way they looked, or, you know, we judge people all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. And that is actually that's really good advice. And this is why I think that. I agree with that, because I'm also in my head while you were saying that, I was thinking, you know, what do the person you're dating and your bestest friend have in common? They want to see you happy.
Of course.
So I'm sure that they're going to try to do their best, everything that they can do, be open-minded to that other person that at the moment they're not really liking. So what better way to have them, you know, commingle than to, you know, go on that double date, or basically have that quality time so that they get to know each other. And then from there, you know, they've tried, I feel like if they've had quality time, they've tried their best to make sure that they really get to know the person and not judge them. And if after that they don't like them, then I feel like it has more to do with their personalities than anything else.
And sometimes that's bound to happen. And, you know, it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
100.
But I feel like over time, you know, that can change. Like if they know that they're going to be in each other's lives for a very long time, I feel like people go out of their way to try to keep peace because they want what's best for you. So they want to make sure that, you're happy, that everything is going well. So they'll go out of their way to just make sure, that the other person that you don't like is I guess good too in a way.
Believe that.
And then sometimes like you think a person might not like you just because of your way of being. Like for example, here in New York, the term resting bitch face is something that
Wow, yeah.
that people have, which is just essentially what that means is you look like you want to kick somebody's ass all the time, or
You look super angry.
you look angry when in reality you're probably calm as hell inside.
You're just chilling. You're
You're
just
just
sitting
hanging
in your
out.
seat,
You're chilling, nothing's
relaxing.
going on. You know
But
what I'm
that's
saying?
just your face.
Exactly. So therefore, because you appear to look like that, like the person might catch a false
A
vibe
vibe.
about
Yes.
you.
You seem unapproachable.
But in reality, you're probably not like that. And like me, for example, I'm somebody that's mad shy. I'm super shy. So I'm somebody that you gotta kind of break the barrier with. But then once the barrier is broken, like you get to really,
That's true.
you know what I mean?
That is honestly true, guys, because Brian will literally not like up front. It seems as if maybe he may not want to talk to you, but it's honestly not that. It's that he is literally shy. And if you're not making the effort to like talk to him, don't expect him to go out of his way to start talking to you
Yeah.
because he won't.
Yeah, I definitely don't go out of my way, honestly. Like I'd rather sit there in silence with somebody.
The whole time.
You know what I'm saying? Just because that's the way I am, period.
But if you started talking to him, he would enter the conversation and speak to you. And over time, he'd open up and just, it'd be over.
Yeah.
You'd be like, why? Why did I get him talking?
Yeah, so ultimately it feels like, if you want your friend and your partner to get along, you kind of have to take the initiative because you know what both people are like.
Yes.
So you know what scenario to put them in where there's a chance that they could establish that sort of connection, that sort of bond.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But you got to take the initiative. You can't just wait around for, every birthday party when everyone links up. You can't just hope that it works out then. You know what I'm saying? Like,
especially with other people around, it just, it causes, I don't know. I know that didn't make sense, but what I mean is when there's so many people around, you feel pressure, I guess,
word.
to like have certain conversations and stuff. And so it makes you uncomfortable. And then other people feel that vibe. And who really wants to talk to someone that seems like they're off-putting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all rely on friends.
Right.
Period.
Overall, we
In
rely
life,
on our
in
friends.
relationships, like we rely on them. Why not rely on them? Absolutely, you should ask for different opinions on different things that you're going through. And like I said, in life or in a relationship. So,
Yes, but really quick, super
shout out to
quick,
the friends,
guys.
man. Shout out to the friends, y'all. Shout out to the boyfriends that's cool with the girlfriends, group of friends. Shout out to the girlfriends that's cool with the boyfriends, group of guys, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Shout out to Harmony.
Guys,
Shout out to the people that go on vacations together and shit like that. Like that's
those
a
are my
vibe.
favorite.
That's a vibe right there.
Guys, I just do want to mention something super quick, though, that I want you to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Brian said group of friends. And when he said that, I automatically thought that if you're telling more than 2 or 3 of your closest friends, I want you to know that you are most likely going to get mixed advice. Okay?
That's a fact.
So you have to be careful as to when you're asking these friends and if you want all of these people's advice, because you might get different advice and that could be confusing.
Let me talk about myself. The type of advice that I like to give as me being a friend. I'm somebody that I typically like to stay out of the way of people's relationships. I try to be as neutral as possible. Like I'll give the most generic advice, but the advice really hit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be on some type of time where, follow your heart, listen to what your heart says. Don't make a drastic decision. Really think about it. Think twice. Think 3 times before you decide. You know what I'm saying? There's people out there that no matter what happens, they're like, oh, fuck them. You know, who gives a shit? This, that, and the third. You're wrong and they're wrong and you're right, right all the time. The reason that I'm not like that personally is because if for whatever reason this issue that you guys are dealing with just makes y'all break up and then after some time you guys get back together, I personally just feel weird and like fake. Just knowing that I was saying fuck you and fuck this and you're an asshole and then a
They
couple
get back
months later
together,
I'm
yeah.
like smiling in your face like, hey, how you been? Like that's OD fake. So I don't know. But to each his own, you understand what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I'm not saying that everybody should be like me, but that's just how I am. You know what I mean? Like, that's
And
the type of advice that I give. So someone can never have this ties into what you said with the mixed advice thing.
mhm.
Because certain people will give mixed advice. Like they would never have to deal with that from me just because my shit be imaginary.
And to piggy off of what he's saying, exactly what he said, not everyone has to give advice like that. We are the opposite. I do not give advice like that. When I give advice, I feel like it's more straight on to whatever it is that my best friend is having or whoever it is that's asking for my advice. I try to be more specific about it. And that seems to work for me. So that's two different ways of giving advice right there.
So you could also be upfront like that and let them know that you will ride or die and, you know, your team them all the way through. So,
Yep.
yeah. And to move on.
To our listener question.
Yes, go ahead and let the people know what we were asked about this week.
Okay, guys. So one of our listeners asked, should you feel a certain type of way if your significant other tells you they need space?
What? Bro,
Yeah.
what are you talking about, man?
Hold up.
All right.
Space.
Okay.
Wow.
So if you ask me you need space, should I feel some type of way? Honestly, I think it really boils down to, again, how that type of information is presented.
Yes.
And specifically what's most important is the reasoning.
Right. But
The reasoning.
yes.
Because, like, if me and you have had an amazing relationship up to this point, and then out of nowhere, you come, like, left field talking about, hey,
I need
know,
some space.
I need some space out here. You know, things ain't really working out. I don't know what's going on. That's like my head, like,
It's not in the right
I'm
place.
dealing with things like, all right, fam,
What?
cut it. What are you talking about right now? Like, what does got to do with me? What does that situation with that have to do with me? Because if you're saying that you need space because of something else that's happening, I don't get it.
I don't
me
get
personally.
it.
This
Me
is just-
either.
Oh, you
I
as well,
agree.
right? All right, so we
We
agree on that.
agree on this. This sounds crazy.
Yeah. Like, because we've heard of situations where, you know, certain individuals will be upset with certain things going on and therefore they want to take a break from their relationship. But my train of thought is if the relationship is going totally okay,
If that's the best part of your life.
if that's the best part of your life, why would you want to throw that away? It just doesn't make sense to
No
me.
sense.
It doesn't make sense.
I agree. This is a we right now. I
Yeah.
am fully on board with what you are saying.
But, you know, babe, like if something's going on with me and you, like the last month has just been, you know, weird. Like it's just weird. Like we can't shake the feeling. It's just weird. Like the relationship is on a weird type of time right now. It's a
Mhm.
little hump.
Okay.
And you're like, hey, you know, I think we should just take a break, collect ourselves. Like I would understand where that's coming from.
Right. But just for a second, really quick, before we continue. He said break. He doesn't literally mean taking a break as in we're on a break.
Yeah, because I don't believe in
We
that.
do not believe in
Yeah.
that.
Me and you are still boyfriend, girlfriend.
But if
Like,
you
you know
want to
how-
be like chilling for, if you need your own week
Yeah.
of not seeing me, that's different. But you and me
True.
are still together. So
Facts.
everything is still in effect.
Because you know, there's people out there that they hear break and they be, oh shit, I got the hall pass.
Right.
Like I'm finna go cheat.
True.
Exactly. Or, well, we were on a break. No, there is no break. What
Nah.
is a break?
You know, as long as you're clear about what it is that you want, then cool. You know, if you want to break up, then break up.
Yes.
But if you just want some time, then have some time. You know what I'm saying? Take some time to yourself to figure out whatever it is.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So me and you are on the same page with that.
Yes. But I do want to mention something that, would happen because it is personal to me. This is just the way I feel. If someone, and not just someone, because obviously it'd be you, babe. But the point is, if Bryan told me that he wanted some space, no matter what the reason is, even if I understand it, I just want y'all to know that I would be sad.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, who wouldn't be sad? I think, most people would definitely be sad about that type of news. But
I would just feel sad.
yeah, ultimately, just keep in mind what it is that you want the break for, or like what it is that's going on. I mean,
Right.
if
Like,
this
why
person
do you need
wants to
this
have
space?
a break with you, and for the most part, everything has been splendid, like A1, that would throw me all
Yeah.
the way off.
Yeah,
And
that makes no
I personally don't
sense.
fuck with that. You know what I'm
Nope.
saying? With that being said, hopefully it's able to help whoever asked that and able to help everyone else. But I think we're pretty much done.
I think that is a wrap.
Perfect.
Believe that.
So, guys, just to like reiterate, be on the lookout. Go check our Instagram whenever you're listening to this episode. Go check out that Instagram post. Go check out Cravings by Cat. That's KRAVINGS_BY_KAT on Instagram. Go ahead and take a look at her work. That way you can understand why we're so excited about this giveaway.
And why we really do, use her for more than just events.
That's a fact.
If it's the weekend and I want something really good and I don't just want to get like the generic Munchies, Lay's, or whatever, maybe I want some special chocolate chips.
Yeah.
Facts.
These are the chocolate chips.
Big facts. And as always,
Thank you for listening. We
Thank ya.
love you guys. We want you to tell us what you think, what questions you need us to talk about.
definitely.
We're listening, guys.
Definitely. At 4InfinityPod on Instagram and Twitter. Continue to message us. We really appreciate it. And is there anything else?
And we're so proud that we've continued to have these listener questions. Like, this is crazy. Thank you,
Believe that.
guys.
Appreciate y'all. So we'll see y'all next week.
Sushi for dinner.